Black people, and other fellow citizens on Monday, October 9th, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580. The Tape. 1 year later. We're broadcast live an afternoon drive from 5 to 7 p.m. with an immediate encore presentation from 7 to 9 p.m. When all was said and done, was more said than done. 1 year later. Are there fractures in LA's black-brown political partnership? And where do we go from here? Don't miss The Tape. 1 year later. Only on KBLA Talk 1580. Monday, October 9th. Live from 5 to 7 p.m. with an immediate encore presentation from 7 to 9 p.m. We've got a lot to talk about.
Not about to pay nobody's way, 'cause it's all about the dog in me. Come on, Adina. I want a freak in the morning, a freak in the evening, just like me. Just for me, if you are that kind of man, 'cause I'm that kind of girl. I got a freaky secret. Everybody sings. We don't give a damn about it. All right, thank you guys for indulging me in my wannabe R&B star rapper dreams. Occasionally, when Andy lights up that playlist, I can't help but get involved because it feels good. You were locked into Hour 3, the After Hour, on RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So listen, VIPs. One, before we came forward, we were talking about a little bit of the adult situation, the adult movies, adult features, spurred on by a conversation about Sexy Red and the leak of her tape. Sherry Shepherd was on the Breakfast Club, and they were talking about it. She said she just recently heard the lyrics to Pound Town, and that Sexy Red is not someone that she could have on her show. She said it's not appropriate for daytime TV, those lyrics. But what she wanted to know is, when did talking about showing men your booty hole become sexy? She's not from that time period. She says Sexy Red would be like, oh no, auntie, you too judgmental. I don't know what you're talking about. And I mean, I understand that there is a generational difference, even though, and Charlemagne pointed it out, we came up on Lil' Kim, Trina, Foxy, those type of things. I think that although there are some moments that were very raw, very, very real, there's still in some moments, and again, we always push the envelope a little further, I think the innuendo is what is dropped out and what has been lost. Things are very, very raw. Things that you would only normally hear, like if you were looking at adult magazines or things that would be considered X-rated. I don't even know if X ratings are a thing anymore in 2023 because everything is out there, and I'm not saying that there is not an appropriate place for them or that adult activities shouldn't be left for adults, but there's very little gatekeeping as far as this stuff nowadays. It's really hard not to be exposed to it. So there is that. There is an NFL player, Tyreek Hill. He plays for the Miami Dolphins. He recently said that his post-career move is that he wants to get into the porn field, the adult entertainment field. He said he's dead serious. I don't know if he is serious, but good luck with that. I'm sure you would make some money seeing a former NFL player taking that route. Look, go ahead if that is what you're going to do. So I told you I would share a story with you. This story is very old, about gotta be 20 plus years old. But I was in the Valley, and at one time, before OnlyFans, all of that type of thing, the Valley is the adult entertainment capital of the world. They make a lot of movies there. They had different health laws, things that, what, Andy?
San Pornando.
Exactly. That's it right there. So it kicked it off, right? Those movies.
And so I was with some friends. We were like at a diner or something out there. I want to say it might have been a Denny's, right? We were leaving Denny's, and there were some guys that were coming in the door. And so I guess they saw, it's about 3 or 4 of us girls going out. They were coming in. So, they wanted to see what's up. So they like came out of the restaurant and met us on the sidewalk, right? So they were chit chatting or whatever. And so, normal conversation, groups of people kind of meeting up. And so one of the guys, he was talking, so I was like, "Oh, what do you do?" And he was like, "I'm a porn star." And so we all laughed. We were like, "Ah, that's funny. No, really, what do you do?" And he was like, "No, really, I'm a porn star." So I'm telling you, this was a long time ago. He pulled out a portable DVD player. Right? You remember those? They were about yay big, like the size of a book. Popped it open, put it on one of the things where you put money in to pull the newspaper out that was on the sidewalk, and showed us one of his scenes. And as he was la 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 la, and some girls behind, he was like, "Yeah, but I'm a regular guy. I like to go out on dates. I like to do nice things and go to the movies." And realistically, he was like, "You don't have to worry about me trying to just get with you because I want to have sex with you, because I have sex for a living. So you should want to date me." Suffice it to say, I did not want to date him. However, I cannot believe that this man just popped open and had ready a scene from one of his movies to show. The other guy, because the parent, and I do know their names, I'm just not giving them just because, Lord, this is just random. But the other guy had a business card with him naked on it, and, it was like adult entertainment star. I was like, really? Really? This is where we're at? But apparently that is, those are the things that can happen to you when you're just hanging out in the valley, because that's what it is. I don't know if it's still that way. I'm sure OnlyFans has put a serious, serious dent as far as the official porn industry and changed a lot of things for that industry. Andy?
Well, I'm sure he had all of that stuff because he's also recruiting at the same time.
I didn't even think about that. He didn't say anything like that to. Maybe he knew. He probably knew.
Yeah.
But
and the only reason why I say that is because I don't know if you're familiar with Brian Pumper.
That's who it was.
That's who it was. Man,
that's who it was.
Look, man,
but he wasn't trying. Like, I've heard stories about him busting eggs on girls' heads and paying girls $50 to be in their videos and stuff. But he didn't say any of that type of stuff. I just remember looking, because he said he was from Long Island, and one of my girlfriends was from New York. That is how the conversation extended out or whatever. But I remember looking down, and he had on dress shoes with sweat socks on and some dress pants, and I was
and
like,
a wife beater.
Yes, and I was like, what is he doing? What is this?
With like 20,000 chains?
Maybe. I think this was probably when he was just starting out. I think this is, pre the Lloyd Banks hype or whatever. I think he was just getting started in the industry at this time. Okay. So it never occurred to me that he would have that stuff. I thought maybe he was coming from work. The other homegirl, when he would.
Yeah, he was coming from work, for sure.
Right. Coming from set. Mm-hmm. The other, he reached out to shake her hand. She was like, "No, thank you."
So it's funny that it was him because, being out here in L.A.
Fox Hills Mall.
You know what I'm saying? If you ride the train, I know you don't.
I do not.
I mean, I don't anymore, but when I would see him on the train several times.
Really?
I believe it was, if you're from L.A., I believe it was that red line he was always on, and you could actively see him.
Trying to recruit.
I mean, I saw him at Chili's having lunch with 2 girls. Which I'm not, not to this. They didn't look up to par. But
I wonder
that's what it was. He probably was recruiting.
That makes a lot of sense. I wonder if they're transplants, because you think about the number of girls that probably show up in LA. You see a looting thing. I remember there was one Law and Order SVU episode about a girl that came off the bus, and the guy walked up to her at the station because she looked lost and was like, "Hey, do you need some help?" And he was being all sweet, and next thing you know, he was pimping her.
Look, man, I don't even want to put too much information, but I do know of somebody that I did go to school with, college, that you could say was manipulated. And it happens. It happens. So I do believe that there are a lot of transplants that come in here, and they probably either want to follow that lifestyle or, they get, recruited. It's California. I mean, it goes down here.
Yeah, it definitely does. But with the, OnlyFans taking off and you could do it from your own home anywhere, I bet that industry is taking a hit.
I think the real industry that might be taking a hit is the pimping industry.
You think? I think that it's probably soared in some ways because you think about it, right? Here's the thing. If there's a girl that has an OnlyFans, right, and she's doing whatever she's doing, we don't know who's behind the scenes. We don't know who's has her out there potentially. I feel like there's different ways for the pimp game to flourish in this digital era.
The reason why I say I think it kind of takes away or it kind of hurts the pimp game is because, me growing up, I never understood how a woman could be the one performing, doing all the work, and, break off, bread to, her pimp or whatnot. So I look at OnlyFans as a way that empowers, the user, because then they don't have to deal with, they could take pictures,
they don't need protection
at all. They could take pictures in the comfort of their own home, and, and all the money goes straight to them.
You're right. So for a lot of women, they're concerned about gorilla pimps or whatever. They protect them from violence, from their tricks or things of that nature. Someone trying to steal their money, taking care of them, whatever. That was a lot of the reasoning behind, for some, having a pimp. But then there are other women who are in a relationship and then get brainwashed and are put on a different way. And I'm doing this for us. This is how I am contributing to the household. But they're still, being taken advantage of or manipulated. So I don't know. I see your point, but I also see the trafficking numbers that are soaring. Like there was a story a couple of days ago about that involved a teacher and some like upstanding citizens that were arrested in a sex trafficking sting in Ohio. Basically, there were 160 arrests, right? And let me pull up the story. So they said it was the crackdown was called Operation Buyer's Remorse, and it was aimed to arrest those that were trying to buy and identify people that were involved in sex trafficking. And they got teachers, they got some, not government officials, but city officials, people that were involved in more than just, hey, I'm looking to get a little rub, tug, and fulfill my things because I'm awkward and I don't know how to talk to women. So I don't know. I think that as far as that type of thing, even with things like OnlyFans, I just feel like the format and the way that it's happened has changed. I don't know if those girls down on Fig still have big pimping, but you know what I mean? It's just, I think it's a different game. A lot happening. Andy, did we go to break? Yeah. So when we come forward, I want to get into, the Charlo twins. We know Jamel just fought last week. We know he and his twin have had a little bit of beef. Well, Twin says his kids are receiving fever because of the loss. We're going to get into that bullying. We're also going to get into former Dodgers pitcher Trevor Bauer. He settled his civil suit with a woman named Lindsey who accused him of sexual assault. But he made a YouTube video talking about the evidence that he and his lawyers found out during the discovery process that was previously kept from him. And it looks pretty bad as far as the young lady is concerned and her intent. And I want to talk a little bit about that. And are we in a position now? Is it scary to do so? Should there be charges brought against women when they put men in these situations? We'll talk about it. All of that and more. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Have you heard about Lendistry? Lendistry is a national Black-led small business lender that is headquartered right here in LA. Once you've started your business, Lendistry provides flexible financing options starting at $50,000 to help you access the affordable capital needed to grow. Whether financing is needed to increase working capital, acquire a business, purchase inventory and equipment, or refinance debt, Lendistry has a solution for you. Lending products range from traditional business term loans and non-revolving lines of credit to SBA 7A loans and commercial real estate financing. Lendistry's pre-application process is simple and does not impact your credit score. Visit lendistry.com/KBLA to learn more and to get started with an application right from the website.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Hello?
Man, where are you? I thought you were coming.
I can't. I'm in bed with the flu.
The flu? Whoa. Grandma's about to crowd surf. Man, I'll call you back.
Don't get stuck at home with the flu. A flu shot is safe, effective, and you can get it at the same time as your COVID-19 vaccine. A flu shot is the best way to prevent the flu and its potentially serious complications. Don't get flu FOMO. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
Hey, keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So, listen, we know the Charlo twins have been on some Cain and Abel type stuff as of late. We know we saw them hug it out before Charlo's match against Canelo last weekend. Well, today, Jamal is who fought last weekend, took to social media to discuss that his children are being bullied at school because of his twins' loss. I don't know. This felt like shade. I don't know if it might be a thing because kids are cruel and a lot happens and kids see the media just like other people do. But let's take a listen to what he had to say.
My kids hating to go to school right now because they don't want to go to school because everybody keep trying to bully them because of their uncle lost. That's crazy. It's just like they trying to bully my kids and all this, all because they uncle fought and he lost. Like, come on, man, bro. But like at the end of the day, like, bro, this boxing, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? You win some, you lose some, and I'm down with everything. But like, no, we have lemonade. We got lemonade. What y'all talking about? We drinking lemonade. We ain't having no drink. Y'all stupid. Shut y'all dumb up. He drunk. That's all y'all gonna get. That's the only way y'all can try to with me because y'all think I'm drunk. No, dumb. I'm drinking lemonade. I'm just enjoying the night with my kids. I'm by myself. Ain't nothing but my family right here. Come on, bro. Like y'all weak. Y'all weak. And if any one of y'all kids touch my kids, I'm gonna tell my kids to go ahead and snap on y'all. Then y'all understand. Pop, snap on them. They get to tweaking, snap on them. jump. Jamal Jr., jump, snap on him. Journey, snap on him. Go and get your leg back.
Now listen, you
Canelo,
hear the
what's
baby.
up?
Get it back. So
You feel
listen,
me? I see you soon.
Jamal also said that he might be down to fight Canelo to get some revenge back for his brother. He did sound like he might have been a little inebriated in that clip. I'm going to take him at his word that he was drinking lemonade. But you think bringing it to the internet is going to make those kids be nicer to your kids? Now, I can't say anything because I understand, hey, don't be violent, but if one of those kids comes to you, punch him in the gut. I kind of understand that approach, but is it going to bring more problems than what it's worth? I don't know. But all of this playing out is going to be interesting to see. Now, listen, there's a couple of stories that I wanted to get to before we get into the Trevor Bauer situation. One thing I wanted to share with you is that Chris Rock is teaming up with Steven Spielberg. They're collaborating on a movie about the life of Martin Luther King Jr. that Chris Rock will be directing, and Steven Spielberg will be producing. It's from Jonathan Igg's biography, King, A Life, and it's been opted by Universal Pictures. It uses new FBI information, previously untapped sources, and hundreds of interviews to paint an intimate portrayal of King as a courageous but emotionally troubled individual who demanded peaceful protest while grappling with his own frailties and a government that haunted him. I think this sounds like it's going to be a little controversial. And I think it is going to delve inside of King that, have become more commonplace as far as discussion in the latter years. But it's a complicated issue when you're dealing with someone that is so revered as Dr. King. People oftentimes forget that they're human and they're flawed. And even though they have all of this good, they may have, made some mistakes as a man and made some choices that some people may not agree with. And my gut says that this film is going to include some things along that line. So we'll have to see how the audience responds to seeing that side of Dr. King, if they're open to it. We'll have to see how his family responds to that being shared. So there's another story that I thought was kind of interesting that has come up, and it regards rapper Flo Milli, right? She was talking to Rolling Stone, and this is something that we've talked about in regards to Rhapsody, but in a different way. Flo Milli does not want people to blame colorism for her not lack of success, but lack of mainstream popularity, that she's not a bigger artist or a bigger hit. She said this. She said, them saying I'm underrated or the colorism thing, they want me to be insecure about my skin tone, which is never going to happen. I want people to understand everybody does not hate themselves. I think I'm a bad chick, and there's nothing you could say that's going to make me think otherwise. So please stop, and I'm also telling them to stop using my name to degrade other people. I want y'all to support me, but don't try to bring another woman down in the process. That doesn't make me feel good. And I mentioned people talk about, Rhapsody. They bring Rhapsody up as someone that has substance in her music, that talks about different things to downplay the Ice Spices and Sexy Reds of the world, etc., etc. Some of Flo Milli's fans have indicated that they feel like she would be bigger if she were, a light complected artist, and that's why she's not going. I don't know. We are not in denial that colorism is a real thing, that it benefits people. But I also think about the fact that if you look at the top actresses right now in TV and film, as far as black actresses go, they are brown-skinned black women, right? Right now, if you look at the hottest female rapper, 6 to 8 months ago, it was Ice Spice. right now, who is it? Sexy Red. She is not the complexion that most reference, right? And I like Flo Milli, and I like some of the stuff she does. Some people may not vibe with her voice. I've heard that as a complaint about some of her stuff. I don't mind eclectic rappers. I think she has something to give, but she just may not have found the song yet. And I applaud her for saying, look, there's a lot of things that could be contributing to this, but let's not stick on this. Let's not put me in victimhood as far as what's happening with my career. I appreciate that coming from her. I appreciate that she's staying 10 toes down and saying, don't use my name to down another female artist. I mean, we talk about, girl power, sticking together, bigging each other up, but do we really, really want that? I don't know. On the flip side of that, I will say, and this is kind of left to center for this, I don't think there's anything wrong with competition either. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to do well and excel. It doesn't mean necessarily that you want the next rapper to disappear, blow up, not have any success, but if you want to do a little bit better than rapper 2B, that's what you're supposed to want to do as a person, right? As long as you're not wishing harm on them, competition is okay. It moves a lot of things. I don't know. I guess it's just a matter of finding the balance, but we have to revisit this another time because I think that as women are standing more in the forefront of hip hop and stuff, these topics are going to continue to come up. Andy?
I feel like there's an artist that we tend to neglect or forget a lot of the times. Remy Ma.
Right.
Remy Ma, she's chocolate. And at one point, I want to say right before she went to jail, she was the hottest female rapper at the time.
Pen game, sick.
Battle rapper.
Right.
Sick.
Right. She gets it in. So we'll have to see how this all shakes down. I do think it's interesting, the turns and the places that we are taking as far as women in hip hop right now and where it will go, how we will see the evolution of women in rap. So many different places it can go. When we come forward, we're going to get into this Trevor Bauer story. And if we believe that anything should happen to the woman, you're going to listen to what he found in Discovery. And, maybe you have an opinion on it. Maybe you have some thoughts on what she had to say. We'll get into all of that and more. You're locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. News and sports on the other side.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
More when we come forward.
I'm Doug Davis with the latest from the Black Information Network. Alabama's congressional map now has 2 districts for black voters. The new map features one district with nearly 49% black voters and another with just under 52%. Former President Trump is asking a judge to dismiss his federal election interference case. Trump's legal team argues his actions leading up to the 2021 attack on the Capitol are protected by presidential immunity. Trump was indicted by a federal grand jury in August for his alleged efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 election. Detroit's Motown Museum has revealed its expansion for the first time in a private event for donors yesterday. The museum's The Motown Experience will bring visitors back in time using classic photos showing the family environment of the studio in the 1960s and 70s. The second exhibit is called The Backstage Lounge, and it features new music and interviews with Motown artists. And that's the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Grab your crush and head to Sheraton San Diego Hotel and Marina for a boat picnic of champagne and charcuterie in the heart of the harbor. Love is in the air and on the water when you explore your next getaway at crushingonfall.com. That's crushingonfall.com.
On Monday, October 9th, Don't miss the KBLA Talk 1580 exclusive. The tape. 1 year later.
Y'all were coming for us.
Yeah, but Tavis, that's not in my heart. I wasn't coming for anyone like that. I apologize, but that was not me. That's not in my heart. And like I said a few moments ago, I have a solid, demonstrable record of shared power that's real and concrete. That can't be misinterpreted.
Join Tavis Smiley and an all-star panel of political insiders, influencers, and journalists for a look back at the crisis that shook LA City Hall when 4 Latino leaders were caught on tape making racist, demeaning, and derogatory statements about black people and other fellow citizens on Monday, October 9th, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580. The tape, 1 year later. We'll broadcast live an afternoon drive from 5 to 7 p.m. with an immediate encore presentation from 7 to 9 p.m. When all was said and done, was more said than done. 1 year later, are there fractures in LA's black-brown political partnership? And where do we go from here? Don't miss The Tape, 1 year later. Only on KBLA Talk 1580, Monday, October 9th, live from 5 to 7 p.m. with an immediate encore presentation from 7 to 9 p.m. We've got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family was founded to help address domestic violence and sexual assault in the Asian and the Pacific Islander communities. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family's mission is to build healthy and safe communities by addressing the root causes and consequences of family violence and violence against women. They are committed to meeting the specific cultural and language needs of the Asian and Pacific Islander women and their families. CPAF's vision is of an Asian and Pacific Islander community that embraces healthy relationships and works in partnership with other communities to eradicate all forms of violence. To access services, volunteer, or for more info, visit nurturingchange.org. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe everyone deserves to be safe. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin Ultra Strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
No young person should ever have to worry about having a safe place to sleep at night, or whether anyone cares about them.
But the reality is, 1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year.
For over 50 years, Covenant House has been helping youth in crisis and giving them the support and tools they need to succeed in life. To learn more, go to covenanthouse.org today. Thank you for caring.
Hey, everything okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Honey. Hey, I'm here for you. Tell me about school today.
When kids can't find the right words, music can help them sound it out. Talk to the kids in your life about their emotional well-being. Find tools and resources at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
me I wasn't going to get my Oaktown 357 on. I wanted to be a Hammer dancer. What are you saying? Hammer's live show. I'm going to keep hitting it off. Anytime Stanley Burrell comes up, I'm going to go up for MC Hammer. He was entertaining. He has what a lot of these rappers nowadays wanted. He had a lot of money. He was a superstar, international singles, had endorsement deals, a Saturday morning cartoon, a doll. There was an MC Hammer doll. Let us not forget that.
You know, it kills me how much they called him corny, but he looked out for the hood so much.
He really did.
I mean, to the point where he got broke because he was trying to look out for the culture and look out for his community.
You know what I think that's so dope about Hammer's story, too? Like, just, you know, we know all the stuff, how he started as an Oakland A's ball boy. We know he went broke, helping everybody out, putting people on. His resurgence in the tech area. You know, Hammer is big in tech. He owns, I'm trying to think what it is. I obviously didn't know we were going to talk about this. But MC Hammer has made a lot of money. I used to listen to him on Clubhouse talking about it. And so he got into the tech game, and he's a big-time tech investor. He, at least 3 years, well, not anymore because obviously Twitter has been sold, but he owned a piece of Twitter. He had his hands in a lot of investments. Chameleonaire is another one that was heavy into the game, but Hammer came back up. He came back around. He let me find out. Let me get it in here what Silicon Valley startups he was involved with. Because I think that is an amazing thing, you know. He still managed to be responsible with what he was left with, put it into something, and make use of it. I think that he gave marketing advice to a company called Salesforce. I don't know. I need to look it up because I want to make sure it's right. But Hammer very much was an early investor in some pieces of tech and made a lot of money as far as that goes. So shout out to him. He's also an investor in Square. Here, look. I found it. I found some of it. Let's go. Because I think it's important. Bankruptcy time. Scanning this article. Scanning where they get to what he's invested in now. Obviously, Twitter, Square. He gets a check from this company that doesn't exist anymore called Flipboard. He also invested in... Darn, it doesn't have the whole list. I'm going to get it for you. And this is a topic that we will revisit. In the meantime, right, in between time, I did absolutely want to talk about this Trevor Bauer case. Because, you know, it's believe women, but stuff like this, I don't know what to say. She definitely plotted on this man. And part of it is like kind of funny. I've gotten texts from friends in some regard to some of it, that use some of this language jokingly, but at the same time, how far this went. Trevor Bauer, pitcher for the Dodgers, right? He basically was up for, I think he was on the final year of which was a 3-year contract, $100 million contract. The MLB suspended him for 2 years. He was just about to sign a $250 million deal. And they kicked him out of baseball. And basically, the girl made up everything. We're going to listen to what he had to say.
Next victim, star pitcher for the Dodgers. A text Lindsey Hill sent to a friend before she ever even met me. What should I steal? She asked another, in reference to visiting my house for the first time. The answer? Take his money. So how might that work? I'm going to his house Wednesday, she said. I already have my hooks in. You know how I roll. Then, after the first time we met, net worth is 51 mil, she said. You better secure the bag, was the response. But how is she going to do that? Need daddy to choke me out, she said. Being an absolute to try to get in on his 51 million, read another text. Then, after the second time we met, former Padres pitcher Jacob Nix told her, you got to get this bag. I'll give you 50,000, Lindsey replied. Her AA sponsor asked her at one point, do you feel a tiny bit guilty? Not really, she replied. Since then, her legal team has approached me multiple times about coming to a financial settlement. But as I have done since day one, I refused to pay her even a single cent. In August of 2021, Lindsey Hill's claims were heard in court, and during those legal proceedings, critical information was deliberately and unlawfully concealed from me and my legal team. Information like this video, which was taken by Lindsey Hill herself the morning after she claimed she was brutally attacked, emotionally traumatized, and desperate to get away from me. And now we have the metadata, so there can be no dispute. It was taken mere minutes before she left my house on the morning of May 16th, 2021, without my knowledge or consent, of course. In it, you can see her lying in bed next to me while I'm sleeping, smirking at the camera without a care in the world, or any marks on her face. I think it paints a pretty clear picture of what actually happened the evening of May 15th and why the video was originally concealed from us. After hearing the evidence available to her, Judge Diana Gold-Saltman found that Lindsey Hill had misled the court. She found her claims to be materially misleading. She denied her request for a domestic violence restraining order, and she found that no sexual assault or non-consensual conduct took place. Now, some of you might not know about restraining order hearings. I know I didn't, but I've since learned that it's extremely rare for a request for a restraining order to be denied because the standard of proof that you need to obtain one is extremely low. So you can make of that what you will. The fact is, I was never arrested. I was never charged with a crime, and I won the only legal proceeding that being heard. And most importantly, as I've said from day one, I never sexually assaulted Lindsey Hill, or anyone else for that matter. So I sued her, which prompted her to countersue me. Quite frankly, regardless of the outcome in court, I've paid significantly more in legal fees than Lindsey Hill could ever pay me in her entire life. And I knew that would be the case going in. But the lawsuit was never about the money for me. It was the only way for me to obtain critical information to clear my name. Recently concluded, at which point Lindsey Hill's legal team again came to us with another proposal to resolve the case. This time, however, they weren't seeking any money from me. Having received much of the information that had been hidden from us, a small portion of which I've referenced here, I was willing to agree to the terms proposed. Both parties would drop their respective lawsuits, and neither of us would pay either side any money. I also retained my right to speak publicly about the case, something I have not been at liberty to do since June of 2021. So, as of today, both lawsuits have been settled. Now, over the last 2 years, I've been forced to defend my integrity and my reputation in a very public setting, but hopefully this is the last time I have to do so, as I'd prefer to just remain focused on doing my job, winning baseball games and entertaining fans around the world. So today, I'm happy to be moving on with my life.
So listen, that was a lot to take in. When we come forward, I will share my thoughts on that because, I mean, if you saw any of the videos or the photos that the young lady put out of what she's claimed to have happened and some of the descriptions, it's a lot and it was very damaging, and he's not going to get that money back. And obviously that's not our concern. And yeah, maybe he should have protected his swimmers more, but what happens? What do we do? It's a touchy situation because if you start charging victims or alleged victims, what happens? We'll get into that on the other side. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
In Big Tobacco's Fantasyland, children are the future. Here, tobacco companies are committed to higher education, offering scholarships to students who submit essays about the benefits of vaping. The tobacco industry even sponsors summer camps for kids. Don't worry, the tobacco-sponsored programs have been linked to leaving your kids more interested in smoking. In Big Tobacco's Fantasyland, the world's deadliest industry is your child's friend.
See reality at undo.org.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Learn more at chase.com/business premier. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Account subject to credit approval. Restrictions and limitations apply. Cards are issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank, NA member FDIC.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
The
The rent is too damn high. KBLA joins you in calling for affordable housing. The LA Tenants Union is a diverse, tenant-led movement fighting for the human right to housing for all. The LA Tenants Union demands safe, affordable housing and union rent control. They organize against landlord harassment, mass evictions, and displacement, and mobilize for the repeal of the Ellis Act and Costa-Hawkins Act. The LA Tenants Union is on a mission to strengthen tenants' political power through education, advocacy, and direct action. To get help with your eviction or other landlord-tenant issues, take action for justice, or become a member, visit latenantsunion.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, could potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. We were talking about Trevor Bauer. He's finally spoken out about the sexual assault allegations that were levied against him. The case ended up with the judge dismissing it. Both parties walked away with no money being exchanged. Lynn in the chat, the YouTube chat, says, I'll never understand how someone can do that to another person. Tony Yayo says, Dodgers writer Molly Knight scrubbed her Twitter. Bauer went after her and a former employee of The Athletic because, and this is what I say, I think that, I know it's hard in this era, especially where clickbait is important. We all want people to tap into us, and we want to give moment-by-moment updates and share our opinions and our thoughts. But I do think there is something to be said for waiting for full facts to come out within a case. And I know that's hard. I know people just want to have conversation. I know that innocent until proven guilty is more of a concept now than an actuality. And a lot of guilt and innocence is mediated through social media and the like. But, things turn on a dime. And without the full information, it's hard to make a really informed decision. And we act out of emotion right now because we're privy to so much before it's all been put together. I think it's a really difficult position to be in because, as I said, if you do prosecute this young lady for not being honest, or some type of things. Again, there were no criminal charges brought against him, but his reputation definitely took a hit. There are going to be some people that are not going to follow up on the case to know that he wasn't really doing the things that she accused him of, and that there is at least some photographic evidence to match up with what he said. It's not just he said, she said. And there are text messages that show she was scheme, plot. You know what I'm saying? What was the song from Rap-ish season 1? Seduce and scheme. And clearly she was that. Her homegirl was like, secure the bag, girl. And I'd be lying if I said I've never said that to a homegirl before about something. You know what I mean? I'm going to be honest. Girl, what? Lock that down. And her response might have been, I got you know what I do? We locking this up. Maybe all in good fun. But it seems that she took it a step further. And again, the accusations were really, really serious. And, I don't know, pineapples. Isn't that what Kevin Hart said in his special about the safe word when you're in experimental sexual situations? Because maybe that's what it was. Maybe she thought she wanted to go in this direction and she was encouraging him and got in the moment and was like, nah, this isn't it. But if that was the case, and I don't know, I'm not saying she said that, is that enough to accuse someone of sexual assault because you maybe changed your mind or it went a way that you weren't prepared for it to go? I don't know. And then if you put victims in a position where someone might try to prosecute them for something they said, and, you know, maybe the next time it is true, but this guy has an amazing lawyer and is poking holes and going after the woman. We've seen this happen before, and it makes others hesitant to come forward. I don't know what happens. Tony Yayo says Bauer is a jerk, and it was easy for the media to turn on him. I'm not familiar with him outside of the game, and that might be true, but it's kind of like what I said about Sexy Red. Personality flaws aside, do they have to pay for that? I mean, again, it is the basics that you were told as a little kid. Be a nice person, be respectful, respect others, because you never know when the time will come when those tables will turn, and baby, those tables turn. And you need these people that you're being rude to vouch for you, to stand up for you. But I still don't subscribe to letting people swing and twist if they're innocent. I don't know. It's a tough situation to be in. I don't know what should happen to Lindsey, but I do know that even though, you know, he's okay now, and like I said, he's out there speaking up for himself, putting the real story out there, his life is never going to be the same. There's no way he can recover that $250 million, even if he got a super large contract. He still can't make up for the past 2 years that he's had to miss on the baseball diamond, in position, whatever. I don't know. There are a lot of people that I don't agree with their personality type. I don't agree with their opinions. I don't agree with their positions. But that doesn't mean that I would advocate for someone lying on them and putting them in a position. I mean, realistically, all we have sometimes is our word. And if we can't stand on our word, what do we do? And I also feel like the women that are really victims, they suffer when stuff like this happens. They really do. Because someone ultimately is going to point to this and say, see, look how can you trust her? How can you believe her? It's believe women. But sometimes people have buyer's remorse. Sometimes people mess up even on the other side. Sometimes people panic when they're in a situation. And you know, what do we do with that? What do we do? I don't know. We'll see moving forward. Really quickly, there's a couple of stories that I want to get to. We can't get too into detail with them, but I wanted to let you know what's going on. Former Portland Trail Blazers point guard, current Bucks point guard, Damian Lillard has filed for divorce on October 2nd from his wife, Kayla Lillard. She's the mother of his 3 children. They've only been married for 2 years, but have been together for 11 or 12 years. They were college sweethearts. Some people are pointing to the fact that Dame got married with shades on, that maybe she should have took the hint that he wasn't really all the way dialed in. I don't know about that, but it is interesting to me how many men we have seen lately filing for divorce first. That's not usually how that goes. So, not sure what happened. You know, it was the boilerplate, irreconcilable differences, lots of things that, you know, can come under whatever that is. The filing suggests that in December of 2022, Kayla moved into a $2.7 million West Lynn home. That's in Portland. While Damian Lillard remained in the $7.7 million mansion that they've had. And according to the filings, in September of this year, Lillard moved to a home in another area, which I'm sure is, you know, doesn't matter now because he's with a new team. And I can't imagine him wanting to keep a place in Portland and going back to visit. Portland is not a bad city. I'm not saying that. I spent a great deal of time in Portland when I worked for Nike, but he ain't going back there. He ain't trying to do that. Tony Yayo says, I can see why Dame wanted Miami. I'm going to tell you this, and there's been a lot of jokes about that. I think that they were having some issue. Well, it says December 22, she's been moved out, so that's 11 months. But I do think that before Dame was even really, really on the I want to go to Miami tip, and who knows how long that's been real, I think that they were, having some issues. So we'll see what comes out in the wash as far as the divorce. We'll see what single Dame looks like in Milwaukee. He'll definitely probably have to do some importing. No shade, no tea, but I'm just saying. We wish them the best of luck. We hope that they can foster a healthy co-parenting situation and that everybody is in good spirits and good, connections for the future, because there's children involved. Listen, thank you for rocking with RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Thursday is my Friday, so tomorrow you will hear the best of RSVP with Jill Munroe. When we come forward after the break, you will hear the best of KBLA. VIPs, I thank you so much. I hope you have an amazing weekend. Lock in. We'll be back Monday to kick more trending topics and headlines. And, hit me up on social media. Let me know what you think. Share. I'm at Stiletto Jill. Have an amazing night. I will talk to you next week.
Either you riding up, we passing, flying by, saying, it's Young Money, Cash Money, Playboy. That's about the size of it. At the rooftop, so hot up here. Yeah, let's go.